10 before the hour, continuing our conversation now here on News Talk with Tom Threlkeld of the DC Pro Sports Report. The baseball season is over. The Mets are going to win the National League East.
Yes, they are.
What does the Lerner family do? I mean, the team is now in collapse. They're 10 out when a blink of an eye ago they were 4 out. I mean, we had that 5 minutes where there was all this wonderful talk of a pennant race in September, meaningful September baseball games. Right. That moment came sadly and went all too fast. But now they're in free fall. What does the Lerner family do with a team for whom there were national expectations of a World Series run and they finished 500?
Well, changes are inevitable. There's a number of players who are going to leave. Almost certainly, Jordan Zimmermann will leave. He's going to pitch tonight when they take on the Phillies. I think you'll probably see Denard Span, their table setter and center fielder. He'll leave. Ian Desmond will certainly leave. I, for one, won't miss him that much. He's had a very tough year. And there'll be some other players who will leave. The question I have right now is whether or not Matt Williams will be in town. There has been an enormous amount of very justified criticism. Last time I was on your program, I took part in it as well. A criticism of the way Matt Williams has handled his pitching staff. And look, the key in that collapse that you spoke of over the past week was the bullpen. The bullpen they lost almost every game the Nationals lost was lost the exact same way in the 7th inning. I mean, it's just, they couldn't get any outs. And they went from 4 out to 9.5 out. They lost 5.5 games in six games. It's just incredible turnaround. And I think there may be a change at manager. We know the general manager, Mike Rizzo, is an old pal of Williams and may hold on to him. If we see Williams fired anyway, it probably shows that the Lerners have personally intervened and said, enough is enough. This isn't working. To be quite a turnaround from a guy who was the manager of the year last season.
There's a case to be made, and Tom Boswell made the case over the weekend, that when you account for injuries, and we're weary of hearing about injuries, but they've been a bottom line reality, and not one guy, not two guys, not here or there. It's been a season of injuries. I think they had their starting lineup, what we thought, before the year was going to be their starting group. Right. I think they were together one game out of 162. Yeah. So you can make the case probably that Williams did an excellent job keeping them competitive with so many injuries. But the bullpen issue we talked about in March and April, and it dogged them at the end. That's frustrating.
Yeah, that's very frustrating. Let me just say, on the injury front, that there are, the Cardinals were very badly hit by injuries this year, and they might win 100 games. So a lot of it is how you respond to these injuries. The latest injury that the Nationals suffered is the craziest. Drew Storen, who breaks his own finger, out of frustration. The whole thing is very disappointing. I think that the bullpen was completely mismanaged, and if anything costs Williams his job, it'll be that. And they need to get someone here who can develop some of these young pitchers who are going to have to take over next year. Guys like Joe Ross and Lucas Giolito, maybe A.J. Cole. Very important for these young pitchers to develop because they're going to lose several veteran pitchers.
Tom Threlkeld of the DC Pro Sports Report. Always great having you here, sir. Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Back with the program note after this.